it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a quick review of My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I actually just finished this book this morning, so everything's really fresh in my mind, but I still already have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings, and I just want to share it with you. So I think without further ado, let's just jump right into the book. So My Dark Vanessa is an adult contemporary book dealing with child abuse and pedophilia. So obviously it is a hard-hitting book. It gets really dark at many points, and it's really emotional and really hits you right in the head and right into the feelings and makes you think a lot, and I really appreciated that. But the story takes place in two timelines. We have the then and now timeline. In the then timeline, we are set in 2001, and we follow young Vanessa, who is 15 years old and is going to a boarding school in which she attends an English class and starts an affair or some kind of relationship with her English teacher, who is obviously much older than her. She's 15 and he's 42, I think, at the start of the relationship. So in the then timeline, we follow that story, how it happened, how it started, how it progressed. And then we have the now timeline, which takes place 17 years after the original timeline. We follow grown-up Vanessa, who's in her early 30s. Obviously, it's year 2017, so the Me Too movement has really been spiking up and encouraging women to speak up. And there are some allegations from other women that started to speak up about the same teacher, that he's been abusive towards them. And we follow Vanessa, who's starting to realize that what happened to her all these years ago was not okay, and it was actually an abusive relationship that she was in. But first of all, what I really appreciated was that the author, Kate Elizabeth Russell, she did such a great job at explaining and describing the relationship. I think obviously it is not a pleasant book to read, and there are a lot of scenes that are really difficult to read and makes you want to put the book down for a while, just take a breath and just like kind of distance yourself, because what is happening in that book is not easy. The things are not easy to process, but I don't think the author went too far with the descriptions and with some scenes that she included in the story. I think she managed to maintain a perfect balance between too much and too little. I think we're always balancing on the edge of maybe getting too much information or going into too much details, but we never cross that line, and it makes the book so much more hard-hitting, so realistic at the same time. And I really appreciate when authors are not scared to go all the way to show the reality of some difficult situations. So a massive plus points for Kate Elizabeth Russell for that book. Another point that I want to make is how real everything is and how fluid is the relationship between Vanessa and the teacher, because obviously the book spans across many years, and we see how little by little the relationships start to grow, and it's getting more and more abusive and more harmful towards Vanessa, and we see her descend from being this regular girl, obviously not having some issues in high school, not being able to make a lot of friends, but still being just a regular, typical girl, into this obsessed over one person girl who is blaming herself for everything, who is willing to take the blame for something that she's never done, or something that she's done unwillingly, or something that she's done by manipulation. And this book is such a great character study of a person who is in an abusive relationship or someone who is manipulated throughout the relationship. It was done so masterfully. I honestly don't have any words to express how grateful I am that this book has been written and has been published, and that I had the opportunity to read it, because it's so important and it captures the survivors' emotions and the survivors' mentality and the way they think so perfectly. And we get so many details and such a great insight into Vanessa's mind. I absolutely loved it, and it was amazing. On the other hand, we also get to see how little words, little sentences, gestures, and eye contact here and then by the abuser can spark something in the survivor, and how little by little the abuser is getting to the survivor's head and is able to manipulate and control everything, every single bit of their life. It was first of all so fascinating to learn about this and to see how this happens little by little, and then just the whole shitstorm starts off and that's it, that person is gone. And then second of all, it was so terrifying because these things happen on a daily basis to women, but not only women. It is terrifying to think that these things can happen and are happening on a daily basis. And also the way that the author managed to show how other people react to the story or to the confession of the survivor is so spot on. I think a lot of times the people are assuming that the person is exaggerating, or they are making something up, or it's never as bad as you say it is, or the same thing as happens with many rape cases. The person who was raped was asking for it. The same thing happens here, and people react in similar ways. Most of them are just negating what the person is saying, what happened to them. I think the way that Russell showed us how destructive these kinds of relationships are, but also not only from the abuser's perspective, how he or she are able to destroy another person's life, but also from people who are hearing about it or seeing things and not acting in the right way, or decide not to act at all, how harmful that can be as well. And I really loved it. Also, another thing that I really liked is the ending, which I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I loved how real it felt. I loved how it didn't go in a place that you would have thought when you're picking up this book, and when you kind of start getting the gist of the story and getting more and more information. I really was so happy that it happened, that at the end happened what happened, and not something that you may have thought starting the book. Very vague explanation, but I'm not gonna say more because spoilers. But I can't recommend this book enough. The only thing that I would say that was a little bit not well done enough is the pacing. As this book is a character study, there's not much action going on, and it's just basically focused on the personal development and personal feelings and whatnot. This book reads really slow at times. At the beginning you have all the action. In the middle you have the part when the plot slows down and is essentially just being inside Vanessa's head. And it's not bad. By no means is it's a bad thing that it slows down. I much more appreciate character-driven stories because it makes me connect with the story more than when it's plot-driven, even though plot-driven I enjoy as well. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, that the plot and the pacing slows down significantly in the middle of the story, and it's definitely not a fast-paced book. So just don't expect fast pacing in the story because you won't get it. Yeah, I would still say that this book was so well done, so well written, and it really hit me hard. And I will definitely be recommending this book in my future videos. I really love this book, and probably I can say that it is my favorite hard-hitting contemporary I've ever read. Please do check it out if you're interested in these kind of topics. For me, it was a 5 out of 5 stars read. It was amazing. I loved the way it was written. I loved the way we got into Vanessa's head, and we saw her progress and regress through the years, and it was just so good. So good. Okay guys, so that is it for my review of My Dark Vanessa. Let me know down below in the comments if you've read the book and what were your thoughts about it. And also, if you haven't read the book, let me know if you're planning to read it based on my review. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye.